Okay, so let's begin with today's class. So is the whiteboard visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One minute. Okay. So yesterday we have been studying about this ISO 9000 certification and all, and there we have studied that 9000, in this 9001 is that section which is concerned with the software development organizations. Now since we are interested in studying the software engineering part, so we are interested in studying the 9001 part. Okay. So the main requirements of this ISO 9001, as they can relate to any software development, they are sectioned into various numbers like 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, like this till 4.18. 18 salient requirements are there. So one by one I will write the requirements and then we will discuss this. The first point is the management responsibility. This is 4.1. Okay. So first, what are the responsibilities of any management? First, the management must have an effective quality policy. Next, this responsibility and the authority of all those who works overall will affect the quality. So the quality must be properly defined and documented. Since suppose 20 people are working in an organization, so the entire work of all these 20 people, or it is the responsibility of all these 20 people together. So this thing needs to be defined properly, that what are the different quality aspects all those who work in that team they need to follow, and it must be documented. That is, they should give proof that yes, I working as in the development team in this organization, I have followed the procedures, I have followed the guidelines, the rules, and I have developed this part and all. So everything must be properly defined and it must be documented. Now suppose there is a management representative, so independent of how this development process is going on, this management, who is a representative from the management, he must be responsible for the quality system. Because when the quality of a product is not good, the client won't go and call for the director, CEO of the company, right? He will call that who is the manager, who is manager of this project team. So manager, who is the management representative, the manager of any team, he must be responsible more for the quality system. So the requirement is there that the manager who is in charge for checking that whether his team is performing as per the guidelines or not, he should work in an unbiased manner. Why is that? Because suppose there is a manager and a very dear friend of that manager is working in the development team, and he commits a mistake, and due to some personal affection towards that person, he bypasses the mistakes. So is this good for the organization? No, it is not good. It is not a professional approach. So a manager always needs to be biased, unbiased. That means that suppose the client is saying that these are the problems that has occurred, he needs to think, on the first place the manager doesn't go and scold his employees. No, he never does that. He takes feedback from the employees, that what of the things the client is saying, whether it is right or not. He takes feedback from the client, that whatever the things the client is saying, whether they are right or not. And after analyzing all the feedbacks, then he gives a decision. So a manager needs to be very much unbiased in all the decision he takes, and this is a very vital point when it comes to management responsibility. So the effectiveness of this quality system, it must also be reviewed by periodic audits. So, okay. So, is the quality of the system good or not? It must be done by periodic audits, and these audits need to be fixed by the manager. Manager himself is not taking part in the audit, but he needs to fix persons who would be responsible for the audit. And again, the auditor must also be unbiased. So this is the requirement of ISO 9001 from the management responsibility aspect, that is 4.1. Now we will come to 4.2, that is the quality system. Now, the quality system means, as we always say, it cannot check whether quality is okay or not, but it can always check whether the guidelines have been followed or not, which is responsible for delivering a good quality product. So, the quality system, it must be maintained and it must be documented. Okay. So these two are the one of the requirements which are needed in ISO 9001. Now we will move on to the next requirement, that is 4.3. 4.3 is the contract review. What does we mean by contract review? So when a client comes to an organization that they want a product to be made or developed by that organization, so there must be a contract signed between the two parties, like what the client is demanding, what the organization will deliver, so that in later time there should not be any breach of contract and someone will say, no, we haven't wanted that, but you did that, we didn't want this thing. So the extra cost which was there involved, it will be a burden for the organization. So for this, the contract is made. So before entering into any contract, the organization, they must review the contract to ensure that it is well understood, and that this organization, they has all the necessary capability for carrying out its obligations. So suppose some things are written in the contract and the manager skips the part, but that part said that you will procure your own raw materials and we won't be paying for the raw materials you procure, suppose. Or you will buy the data from different organizations, we won't be giving the cost for buying the data. Suppose one line was there and the manager missed it, so it will incur a loss for the organization. So this contract must be such that it should be understood well properly by the both parties, and before signing the contract it must be thoroughly checked in order to ensure that all the things that is demanded from the organization, whether they are capable of providing that, whether they are capable of carrying out the project in comparison to the demand required by the client. So the contract review is a very important process. Next is the design control, 4.4. So as we all know that this design process, it must be properly controlled, and that means that the coding must also be controlled. So a good configuration control system must be there. That means whichever part is needed, I will only code those. Whichever is not needed, I won't be going for coding those and also for designing those, right? So a good configuration control system must be there. And this design, whatever inputs will be given to the design, it needs to be verified and it needs to be adequate. So at first the design needs to be verified first, and the design inputs also need to be verified. So everything needs to be checked and controlled. So a good control system must be there. And also when I am talking about inputs, the design outputs, it must also be like verified for, it must be of what the required quality was required. So whatever quality the customer is requiring, whether my output will give that quality or not, that design output we need to verify also and see and match. If that design we are seeing and understanding that this design approach won't give me the quality product which the customer is demanding, then I will have to change my design approach. So this design changes, they must be controlled, the design needs to be verified, the design inputs need to be verified, the design outputs must be verified whether they have required quality or not. So the design control should be there. Okay. Next is the document control. It is 4.5. So as we have studied a lot of time, what is the need of this document, what is the need of the documentation. So let's not again repeat all those, but we all know that there must be some proper procedures for this document approval, document issue and document removal. So So there must be proper procedures for everything, and these document changes, they need to be controlled, because use of some suppose configuration management tool, it is necessary. So for designing the documents and all, several tools have came into market, because those tools can automatically detect the mistakes and the possible errors in the entire document. So suppose if it is a document of 600 pages, so one person manually will going through the pages and seeing, it is a bit hectic for that person. So nowadays several tools have been evolved, whose main task is to see whether this document is approved or not, it is properly procedures have been written or not, there is some well defined framework, and according to that framework only the document needs to be prepared. And this framework, it may change from organization to organization. Different organization will have their own framework. Suppose in our institute we take two uh, tests, internal tests, and the pattern is suppose 1 marks for 10 mark, 10 for 1 marks, and 10 for 2 marks. Suppose this is the pattern. In some other organization, some other pattern is there, suppose 5 for 1 marks and rest 15 for 2 marks. Suppose this is the pattern. So each and every organization or each and every college will have their own pattern of exam, but all the employees or all the teachers of that college and the students also, they need to follow that specific format. So some format has been defined, and according to that, using the software configuration tools, it is checked whether those formats have been followed or not for the document control purpose. Okay. Next is purchasing. Next is purchasing. So the purchased material, whatever it is there, suppose the software, whatever it is, it must be checked that they conform to the requirements. Suppose my purchase requirement was a dress, and I went and I purchased a sari, so my purpose won't be solved. So whenever the purchase is done for a suppose a bought in software or whatever it is, whenever the purchase is done, it needs to be checked that whether it is conforming to my requirements or not. Okay. The next is the purchaser supplied product. 'So this material which is supplied by a purchaser, for example, suppose a client provided a software which must be properly managed and it must be checked. So a purchaser is only providing a product, because we have seen sometimes the product is made by some other organization, but it is given to another organization for maintenance purpose or quality checking purpose. It can be done, right? So this is the example where this purchaser, the client is only supplying the product. So it may happen. Next is the product identification. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Wait for a minute. I need to take a screenshot. Next is the product identification. That means this product, they need to be identified in all the stages of the process. So whatever product I am building, it must be identified in all the stages of the entire process. So in software, the term they used is configuration management. There is this configuration management team that their work is to check and see that at each and every stages, whatever the partial product is getting built up, whether it is identified or not, whether it is satisfying my requirement or not. The partial product also need to satisfy my requirement, because if suppose small things doesn't satisfy my requirement, then the big thing which will be built, how will it satisfy my requirement, right? So the next is process control. So, in order to check the processes, the development team only from the very first place, they need to be properly managed so that they themselves follow all the processes. Because process control is a thing which you cannot go and check at the last stage. You need to follow the processes from starting from the initial point, all the points or the stages in between. You need to follow the process, and later on you may check whether the processes have been followed or not. So the development team or the design team from the starting only, they must be properly managed in order to make them realize that whatever they are building, all the processes should be managed and all the processes should be followed and all the processes should be controlled. So the quality requirement, they must be identified in a good quality plan, and according to that quality, all the processes, they need to be verified, they need to be controlled. Okay. The next is the inspection and testing. So the, we all know that whenever we are making a product, especially in software, we require effective testing. That is, the unit testing needs to be done, the integration testing needs to be done, the system testing needs to be done. So all this testing needs to be performed, and the test records, they must be maintained. Now I am talking about the requirements of ISO 9001. That means a company who will maintain all these things which I am talking about, it is likely that the company will get this ISO 9001 certification. If I do not maintain these things, what will happen? It will happen that I won't get the certification. So similarly, for which was for our NBA, we need to follow certain things when we needed to document certain things. So these are all that are required for documentation purpose, for purpose of getting the ISO 9001 certification. Okay. Next is the next is similar to 10, but a little different is there. So if suppose if so the integration on this for this measuring, suppose for integration for measuring, suppose some test equipments have been used, some measuring equipments have been used, so we all know that they must be properly maintained and calibrated. They must be properly maintained and calibrated, because if my measuring equipment only is not maintained and calibrated, it will give me a wrong reading, and if I take that wrong reading, I will go on giving wrong result to my entire product. So they always should be properly maintained and calibrated. The status of an any item, they must be identified. That means that configuration management and control, process control, all these things will tell us that what is the status of the product, and this status they always need to be identified, whether my status is okay or not. So at each and every stages the status need to be identified. Okay, first I will share the attendance. Okay, so everyone give the attendance first, then we will continue. Okay. 4.13 is control of non-conforming product. This means that whatever software we have untested or faulty software, we should keep them out of the released product. So if I have any untested software, if I have any faulty software, I should keep them out of my product or some other places, whether where it should not cause any damage. Okay. Next is the corrective action. So there is always a requirement in software. We always know that whenever some error has occurred, we need to correct them whenever we have found them, and we also need to investigate that why the error has occurred. So, this requirement of both correcting the errors when found and investing also that why the error has occurred, it should be done so that it will improve the process in order to prevent the future occurrence of such errors. So, if suppose everything is followed, the steps are followed, and still an error has occurred, so the system needs to definitely improve itself, because whenever some error is occurring, the quality of the system is being compromised. So corrective action is there, that is whenever we will see some error is occurring, we will find that error, we will definitely try to correct that error, and it also addition to that we will look for the reason, that what was the reason of the error behind that, so that we can keep a record that what possible reasons can be for an error to occur, why this record should be maintained and kept, so that for future of this company, the post that development team is making a similar product for some other organization 2 to 3 years after. So this common errors occurred and documented, it will help the organization to, on the first place, not to commit those mistakes which were committed in the previous project. So for this, the entire error documentation is also needed, that is the errors that has occurred and what is the reason behind the error and what are the corrective measures taken to nullify the error. All these things, it should be properly maintained and documented. Sorry. Next is handling. So how these products will be stored, how these products will be packed, how these products will be delivered. So the storage, the packing and the delivery of the software product, this section, handling section, deals with that. The storage, the packing and the delivery of the software product. Okay, this section deals with that. So we will stop here for the first class, and from the 9:50 we will finish another 3 to 4 requirements are there. Then we will go to the shortcomings of ISO 9001 and so on. So up to this point, anyone has any problem in understanding, he or she may ask his question. Okay. So I will end this class. Thank you so much for attending.